G'day, it's Oscar here from Drones Fire. We've just finished a typical spray job and today we just want to show you how that goes, walk you through it.
And Nick here from Drones for Hire, I'm a co-founder of the business, and we're up here with the T100. So we've got a 7 hectare area. We're up in pasture in the hills, so we've got fairly rough terrain, and we'll be spraying the target today is St John's wort. So we'll be doing about 37 litres per hectare application rate, and we'll be doing a route mission and a manual plus mission. Yep, and if you don't already know us, Drones for Hire, we started about 11 years ago. We're a DJI dealer and DJI authorised ag service centre. So we've been doing work with spray drones for quite a while now. We started back with the T20 and we've covered the T20, T30, T40, T50 and now T100. So we've seen a fair bit of the evolution of these machines, and I have to say the T100 is relatively a big jump up from relative to the other sort of transitions from 30 to 40 and so on. It's quite a big step up. So very excited about what it can do in this sort of tricky, hilly sort of pasture country.
Okay, so we're going to get after it. First thing we're going to do is the route mission. So we're going to show you on the remote control how you'd set that up typically. We'll be filling and changing batteries throughout the day, but at the end of the video, we'll take you through the basic process of changing a battery and filling the drone, just when all the generators and the pumps are off, just to walk you through all that. And then at the end of the route mission, we'll do that little bit of manual plus up the back there. We'll show you what we did there.
Sounds good. Let's get started.
All right, so we're going to set up our route mission here. We're just going to go into the route option. We're going to check that we're in field mode, click add. Now all we're simply going to do is put our boundary markers in. So we're going to spray this paddock here. Now because we're chasing this St John's wort today, we're not going to do the perfect boundaries of the paddock. It's going to be a little bit funny how it goes. And I'm going to put in some sections of non-application areas and that sort of thing.
Waypoint added. Waypoint added.
Okay, so that's our basic application area. So we can see up here that we've got a field of 9.85 hectares, but we're going to add in some obstacles and we're going to add in some no spray areas. So the first obstacle we're going to put in is this little rock obstacle up the top here. So place that in, then we can change the diameter of that circle. There we go. Next we're going to put a non-application area around this pad here. This is where we'll be operating from, and there's also a couple of trees that have been planted here. Okay, and I've ground proofed this, and I know that the St John's wort cuts out at about that point there, so there's no need for us to spray any of that. Okay, and then I know that there's another patch down here that's in a spring that doesn't have any St John's wort, so we're just going to mark that out as well.
Boundary point of non-application area.
Okay, so I didn't quit my last one, so I'm just going to double click on that point, it'll delete it. Tap to the side, and now I can make a new non-application area.
Make sure to subscribe.
Boundary point of non-application area added successfully. Boundary point of non-application area added successfully.
There we go. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now we've still got the same area, but our actual spray area now has gone down to 6.7 because we've taken out those non-application areas and we've taken out that obstacle. Next thing I'm going to do is change this into a route and a boundary. So now you can see on the screen that the aircraft will get to the end of the run, and then anywhere that's white, that's where the aircraft's flying but not spraying. If I switch this back to route only, you'll see that now it sprays right to the end of that run. If we go back to route and boundary, we've got this white line leading up to the end. So the spray is turned off, it slows down, turns around, speeds up again, then turns on again. That gives us a more even spray. And this orange line around the outside perimeter, that's our boundary run. Okay, and that's it. That's the basics of setting up your your spray mission. That's all we're going to do for today. We can do a few more complex things, like we might want to change the start point, we might want to change the angle of the spray runs, but for the basic principles, that's all we need to do. Okay, we're going to go and spray now. So we're filling it up now, and I'm just watching this tank fill marker that's running along the lines. So basically what I want to do is I want to do most of this small section before my tank runs out. I'm just going to leave it to run there, and that's probably enough, about 40 litres. We're going to have it so that it finishes once it's all the way back. There's no point having it finish while it's down one end of the paddock. We want it to finish close to us. So there we are, we're at 45 litres. We're going to cut it off there, and then we're good to go. Making sure that we put the cap back on. Clear the props.
Now we're going to take off. Okay guys, so this is the T100 here at Mummel, New South Wales, where our Ag Service Centre is. And you can see it making its way across the first run. And we're doing about 6 hectares. That LiDAR unit, you can see, is tracking the terrain height changes nicely. So it's just coming down there. It's going to make its way back up the hill again. And we're doing about 40 litres per hectare application rate and spraying St John's wort. Let's give you a good example of the T100 spraying weeds on hills. Got a bit of wind up at the moment, so you can see a little bit of the spray moving away from the aircraft there. But yeah, T100 very confident, very smoothly making its way across the mountain, coming down for the third run, maintaining its height nicely. Those big rotors driving the droplets down into the weeds, into the ground, into the target. Much more effective and efficient than a ground-based rig due to that downward force coming down off those rotors. And of course, much bigger capacity, being 100 litre capacity tank on this T100. And the previous model, the T50, was a 40 litre tank. It also has a max flow rate of 30 litres a minute, or you can add on the extra spray nozzle kit, which will get you up to 40 litres a minute flow rate. At the moment we don't need that, so we're still running just the standard 2 nozzles. And compared to the T50, it had a 16 litre per minute flow rate, or 24 if you had the extra spray nozzle kit. But quite effortless here with the T100. Very easy job for it, pushing those droplets down into the target nicely.
Okay, so we've got about 63% battery left. We've got about 27 litres left. We're probably going to run out of battery before we run out of fluid on this run. Remember though that this run we started only on 80% between flying it up here to start and having it turned on and set up. I'm pretty happy with the spray pattern there. There's a bit of wind developing now. Our height's at about 3 metres. We're at 22k an hour. So we probably could push the speed up a little bit, and we probably will once we get to the more straighter and flatter runs in a couple of turns. And you'll note too that we're a fair way from that boundary fence there, just because we've got a bit of a wind pushing us that way.
So Oscar, as it makes its way back towards us, how would you spray this without the drone? traditionally?
We probably would have used a side-by-side to tackle this kind of terrain. I mean, we did spray some of the stuff on this paddock before we had the drones, and you know, we just couldn't get across it all on the tractor. So the side-by-side was the way. The problem with the side-by-side was that it was very unreliable in its speeds. So because it wasn't rate controlled, you had that sort of inconsistent rate. Sorry, the T100 just picked up the camera drone and thought it was a power line, so it.
Ah, right.
I had to pause there for a second.
Wondering what that was.
So the T100's done a lot better on this terrain than I thought it would do. So we're coming up now to the end of this the tank. So our tank empty, sort of placing us halfway through the next run on the way back, but we still got 48% battery. So we'll bring it back in and land it when it gets to the end of this run. But next time I'm going to put more fluid in. So rather than the 40 litres, I think I'll fill it up to the 75. It looks like it can handle it in this terrain and these conditions.
Okay. And when it runs out, surely it's going to remember the position that it runs out at, which is right now.
Yeah, that's right. So it'll come back here.
Record that position.
Yeah, and we still got 45% battery. We're going to go up to about 50 litres on this one. Just hear the generator kicking in there and starting to charge that battery. And again, we're going to watch our fill mark. So we want to really avoid travelling without spraying. So as it gets close to us, we're going to stop there. And that's about 60 litres, but that way, rather than it going halfway down the end of that run and then having to turn around and come back, we should run out fairly close to our fill point. And one of the big things people forget to do is look at the aircraft. It's very easy to get your head down. We clear the props.
Props cleared.
Okay, so right now we're going through one of our non-application areas. We've got some trees down there that we're avoiding, and you'll see that the sprayers are turned off now for this run. And then once they pass that section, and then they'll go on there now. Sorry, yeah, just for a little minute they went on there. And then this run back will do the same thing. It'll run back. We've got a little section up here on the high side of the drone now where we'll come back and we'll clean that up manually at the end.
You can see the effect of the rotor wash on the St. John's wort. You can really see the blowing around there and the effect of those big propellers driving down the droplets into the target.
We've done pretty well on this one in terms of payload versus battery life. So we got about 19 litres left and we're down to 49%. We probably could have filled it up a little bit more in hindsight, but you'll find when you're running these spray, especially on terrain like this, these spray missions, you're constantly adjusting your payload to match your battery life. You know, you'll get some runs where the aircraft has to lift up and drop down a lot more, and so it will chew more battery, and on those runs you're going to want to put less fluid in. But this one we should get about 30% once we run out, 30% left in our battery, which is about where we want to be.
How would you compare using the side-by-side you mentioned before with what we're doing right now?
I mean, I don't think there's really any comparison, to be honest. Like the side-by-side, you're bumping around, you're braking gear, you're inconsistent with your speeds and therefore your per hectare rate. It's nearly impossible to get accurate, and like I said, it's uncomfortable and it's expensive on your gear. So
and slow, much slower too, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot slower.
Yeah.
Like this would be a full day job nearly, you know. Just because you're not going 22k an hour, that's for sure. We used to run at about 7k an hour if we could, but you were rare to get that fast.
Yeah.
And you swap on the buggy, I think we had ours on 6 meters. So you probably can get a similar swap out to 8 meters or so with some of the larger systems. But one of the big differences with the drone, so there we are, we're out of fluid. We're at 37%, so we could have definitely had more payload in it this time.
So once again, the drone's recording its position where it runs out automatically, so it knows precisely where to come back to. Automatically return to home at the preset height that Oscar put into the controller. And then we simply refill. And then we'll go off and resume from that same breakpoint on its own automatically.
So again, we're going to go put in the fill hose first. We'll pop this battery out. We've got about 90 seconds if we're running RTK before we need to have a battery back in. We go and look at this battery, it's all charged up full. So we're going to take the old one because it's nice and cool, pop it in. Turn the drone back on. And then we're going to swap the charged one into the cooling side of the station and put the battery that's just come out of the drone into charge. Okay, so our aircraft initialized now, we've got connection back. Now we can check our tank full level. So we might put it up to 60 litres and see how that goes. We're getting very close, so we've only got about another 150 litres to go to get this job done. And I can just hear the generator now cycling up to its full power. I'm just going to check. Okay, so we're at 60 there. I'm going to stop about there, so hopefully it'll finish just below us here and doesn't have far to travel. Okay, we're good to go. Clear props.
Props clear.
Okay, now what I'm going to do on this run, I'm actually going to help the aircraft come down to its working height because it's up quite high. So I'm going to hold the throttle down as it moves to its start point, which is going to bring it down. And that just saves time when it gets out the sight. And once it gets in position there, I can let go of the sticks and it'll place itself at its working height.
And it's carrying on from where it left off automatically without the operator needing to know where to fly back to. Oscar, how would you compare this with the T50?
We've done this paddock before with the T50 in the same sort of configuration. So it was serrated tussock that we were spraying here. I think you can safely say it's the T100's twice as quick, and it's a combination of things which gives us that speed. First of all, it's the actual speed of the aircraft. So the T50 was probably doing about 16k an hour on this terrain, whereas the T100 we can do somewhere between 22 and 25. I've got the angle not perfect today to run on the contours to try and deal with that little bit of wind we've got. So I got it running a little bit slower than what I probably could under ideal circumstances. And then it's the payload. Like, you know, we're getting those higher rates out. You know, we're nearly at what are we? Nearly 40 litres per hectare here today, and we're still getting our hectare per load easily.
Yeah.
Whereas with the T50, we'd be lucky to be doing half a hectare a run sort of thing. And we can probably push it out because we haven't been managing our batteries perfectly either. So I'm just going to help the aircraft up a little bit here as it goes up and over this bit of a hill. It's our LiDAR picking up those trees there, which I didn't input.
Which you did not input, is that?
Yeah, so I didn't input those trees. We just went over into the map. They're sort of, I don't care if they get sprayed, they're box thorns. And the aircraft, I want the spray to get in and around them. I don't want it to avoid that area. So rather than put them in, all I've done is just add a little bit of a throttle as it comes to it and lifted it up over it manually, just to keep it running smooth. But you'll see that the LiDAR did pick it up and sort of slowed the aircraft down and went through the process of dealing with that.
The slow motion believes that you are dreaming.
What's the difference in hectares per hour roughly between the T100 and T50 on this country here?
You're probably getting around that 7 hectares an hour with the T50 would be, you know, a pretty good going. Whereas with the 100, you're more up, you're in the teens, you know, you're 15 or maybe 16, depending on the conditions. A lot of it comes down to, like the T50, to your fill point, you know, how close is it to your application area. Yep. So we couldn't be in much better circumstances here because we're up on top of a hill, we're right in the middle of the spray job, but you don't always get those circumstances.
So I just noticed it turned the sprayers off as it went past over that gully there. That was intentional in the mapping to not spray the gully?
Yeah, so we've got a little section here of non-application area.
Yep.
Where the spring's coming out there and there's no St. John's wort in there. So we've just sort of penciled that out and gave it a geo-fence around that. It'll still fly through that area, but it just turns off the sprayers.
Very handy feature in the controller. You can just mark off areas that you don't want sprayed, so the drone just simply still passes over the area but turns the sprayers off for things like this spring here, or for a dam, or, you know, trees that you want to miss, things like that.
Find a way to reconcile the
But I think one of the main advantages of the drone with this kind of work is you can be really specific with where you spray and where you don't spray.
Yeah, really precise.
Really precise.
The slow motion believes that you are dreaming and running from the things that make you feel.
I'll tell you what you wanna hear. Keep my sunglasses on while I shed a tear. It's never the right time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I put my armor on, show you how strong I am. I put my armor on, I'll show you that I am. I'm unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I'm invincible.
Well done. Nice.
Break down, only alone I will cry out now. You'll never see what's hiding out deep down. Yeah, yeah. I know, I've heard that to let you feel and show is the only way to make friendships grow. I'm too afraid now. Yeah, yeah. I put my armor on, show you how strong I am.
Spray that 120 litres per hectare.
So we're just running our boundary run now. So we've done all the internal parts. Now the aircraft's just scooting around the boundary and doing the headlands. So you can see on the when we're doing our internal runs, the aircraft will turn the sprayers off at about 4 metres before it gets to the end of the boundary. That way the aircraft can reduce its speed without losing our spray pattern. And then our boundary run just swings around the edges and cleans up the rest of the paddock. We've just done our route spray. We've done our large area that was all automated, but now we've got a small section up on top of the hill that we want to get to. And this is fairly common if you're doing a spray day. You might have a small section that you want to go and clean up, or you might have some left in the tank that you just want to go out and spray on an area. So all we're going to do is run manual plus. So we're going to put in our same rate as what we had for our route mission. We're going to bring the speed down a little bit because it's a little bit rougher terrain, and we're going to bring the spacings down there to 7 metres. So we've dropped that by about 1 metre or so. That's it. That's all we need to do before we set up, and then we're just going to manually fly the aircraft over, and it will spray when it's moving forward. Okay, here we go. Clear the props. Okay, so I'm going to line up where I want to spray, and I'm using the screen a lot here to get me in the right position. Once I'm about happy, I click start and the aircraft's going to drop to my working height, which we've got set to 3 meters. We've got it set to 3.5, we're going to change that to 3. There we go. And then now I stick forward and it's going to just start spraying for me. So you can see there the spray coming out, flow rate, and I'm trying to head across the hill here, following contours. Then I'm just going to turn down the hill and it's going to move across that perfect spacing, which we've got set at 7 meters. Just going to bring it down, self down to the right height, 3 meters, and then I stick forward and it sprays. So a really simple method for just cleaning up those bits that you didn't get to on that route mission, or going and spraying a specific area where you've got, say, a sheep camp or something like that, which is not a massive area, but you still want to get that rate controlled spray. So I'm just moving backwards there because when it turned around, it didn't quite get to where I wanted it to go behind it. And when it goes backwards, it doesn't spray. So I just move forward while it's spraying. As soon as I pass my target plant, I can turn downhill again. And the beauty of this is I can cross over the fence there. Not, if I was in the side-by-side or something, I'd be caught up and have to go round and down through the gate, but I can just keep moving across the fence onto the other side of the fence where there's some more of that St. John's wort, and just keep carrying on. Okay, so we're out of fluid, so it's going to return to home now automatically. You will have seen how we manage our batteries in flight through that video, but I just want to run you through the basic process and talk about what's going on. So the drone's going to come in and land. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to grab the hose and you're going to start the autofill. Okay, so we're going to pop up our cover, place the nozzle in and click on the autofill. Now that'll just keep filling. With this system, the way we got it set up, it will shut off before it gets over that full tank mode, but it is something you need to monitor that whole time. Okay, once that hose is in and there's no threat of us getting any chemicals on the terminals, that's when we're going to pull our battery. So we pop it out. We're going to take it over to the charging station. All right, and we're going to remove the battery that's just been charged, but we're not going to put that in the drone. We're going to put the battery that's just come out of the drone straight in because we want to get that charging straight away. The battery that's been in the cooling station cooling but is fully charged, we're going to pop out. Now that's the one that's going to go in our drone. And we're going to put our freshly charged battery into the cooling side of the cooling station. That helps us manage the heat. So yes, the battery will get hot in the drone, but most of your heat is going to be from the charging point. So once it's finished charging, you want to give it a rest. Now we recommend for contractors that you have the 4 batteries because that means you've got 2 battery cycles of cooling before it goes from the charger back into the drone. So we're going to take our battery that's just been in the cooling side of our cooling station, back over to the drone, slide it in, and we just make sure we click it down. Then we're going to turn the drone back on. By this time, you've probably got maybe 10 to 20 seconds left of filling, and you're going to have the remote control in your hand or close by, and you can see the volume then, and you're going to stop the fill when you're happy that it's at the point you want for that run. And then simply our hose goes back and we're good to go. Okay, so that was a basic run through of how you sort of do that battery management each flight. The important thing, you want to keep everything in the shade and just keep that workflow down. But you will have noticed in our flights there how the charger was keeping up with the flight time. So we were getting, I think we were doing about 7 or 8 minute flight times there on average. We were having a fully charged battery was done by the time that drone had landed. So with this current configuration, you are going to be draining a battery as fast as you're filling a battery.
Alright guys, so we've finished our flying for the day. Obviously the flight today was weeds in pasture, so it's up on the hills, it's St John's Wort, fairly rough country, which is sort of classic conditions for a spray drone historically. But being the T100 being much larger than the previous models, it's now really pushing into the broadacre farming as well. So you know, we've gone from 40 litres in the T50 to 100 litre tank, gone from 16 litres per minute flow rate to 30 litres a minute, and then up to even 40 with the extra nozzle kit with the T100. So now these machines are starting to push into, you know, people talking about replacing self-propelleds out in broadacre. You know, if you have 2 or 3 of these, as per the picture here, you're basically getting as much done as a self-propelled sprayer, and that's about 60 hectares per hour productivity rate. In case you don't know Drones for Hire, we have been operating for 11 years. We're an authorised DJI Agricultural Service Centre. We're also a DJI authorised dealer, of course. We have sort of 3 main facets to our business. So we obviously sell hardware, so we equip farmers, surveyors, construction industry people with drone hardware and advise them on the best setups for whatever their goals are. We also have a hire fleet, so if your drone is down, if it's unavailable, if you need to increase your fleet size for a particular job, we have a fairly large and well-established dry hire fleet that we operate out of Sydney. We also have a drone contractor platform or marketplace, so we can connect you with a service provider. So you might say, okay, well, I think I'll need drones on my property or for whatever job you're doing. I want to just see it happen first. I'd like to see someone else doing it, understand the context a bit better, and start that way. So in that case, we can connect you with a drone pilot. We've done 60,000 inquiries so far, as in connections between drone pilots and customers. So yeah, we can connect you with an expert, we can hire you the equipment, we can supply you the equipment as well, and we do specialise in agriculture. So particularly if you're a grazier or a grower, we're very confident in being able to advise you with the right equipment. And we always profess to be as customer-centric as we can, listen to it and understand what your needs are on your property and advise you accordingly. So thanks for watching guys, and please, if you'd like to get in touch, website is Drones for Hire, that's dronesforhire.com.au, and phone number is 1300 029 829.